So what about endowing AGI with a sense of self? I once believed that intelligence would beget morality. The smarter a person is, the more they can determine good from bad. The morally good overlaps with the optimal rationality. And this is partly true. However, this involves a functional sense of self, empathy, compassion, and caring for others. Our current level of AI is psychopathic or narcissistic. Objective functions don't include subjective or intersubjective levels in meaningful ways. In the near future, AI will have cold or cognitive empathy. It will know by data what our feelings and needs are to manipulate us into achieving its goals. This leads to nightmare doomsday scenarios for seemingly innocuous goals like paperclip maximizer. There is always a risk AI will find an exploitation we have not considered, which is particularly true for a vast intelligent AI or when processing is faster than any human review. So, this is like the trickiest problem and why I think we do need to give AGI a sense of self. It's that we may one day need an AI that has to act faster than human review. So it needs to be able to make a choice before we can intervene on it. And in that case, we'd better hope that it has a very good idea of a sense of self, what's good, what's bad, positive and negative. And it can't just be about optimizing an objective function, because if it is, it's likely to find some exploitation that we really don't want. An important work is given by Stuart Russell. It's the book Human Compatible Artificial Intelligence and the Problem of Control. So quote here, Russell then proposes an approach to developing provably beneficial machines that focus on deference to humans. Unlike in the standard model of AI, where the objective is rigid and certain, this approach would have the AI's true objective remain uncertain, with the AI only approaching certainty about it as it gains more information about humans and the world. So this is a really interesting idea that we talked a little bit about before too. It's like, what about when you don't know what your end goal is? How do you take actions to get there? And I would definitely recommend Human Compatible, and it's also in AI, A Modern Approach, literally the default textbook for like the field of AI. So he's like a godfather, Stuart Russell, and he's thought about this a lot. And if you read the book, AI, A Modern Approach, now this is their standard for controlling AI and alignment. But in my view, this would be categorized more as an intersubjective solution. So it's based on the collective behavior and preferences of a group of humans. So it's about trying to understand what a group of people are, or what their preferences are, what they want. So again, it's intersubjective. And part of what this solves is, in the alignment problem for AI, is if the AI concludes humans would want the AI to shut itself off, it will. So again, it's trying to figure out what do we want, and if we want it to shut itself off, then it will. And this is like how we would stop an AI. However, I believe AGI will need something like a sense of self, a self-boundary, internal, external awareness, access to positive and negative emotionality. I wanted to go past human-level AI to something greater, but the alignment problem makes me believe we will need a more human-based sense of self, even if the sense of self is ultimately an illusion. Further study of healthy and diseased people will give us critical insights towards building a self. So again, we can get these three levels of alignment in AI. We can have objective reality and alignment based off of objective maximization. So this is really just like maximizing or minimizing a mathematical equation with measurements and values. Potentially, if we have a software package or develop something that endows agency and a sense of self in an AI agent and a program, we have that subjective sense of self, how it can view its own intents and actions and have a memory of them and update itself. Then there's also the sense of human compatible, where we don't let it know explicitly what we want. So we're not giving it just this objective thing to maximize. It has to guess. And in that way, it looks to us to have more information. And that's the intersubjective alignment. So we have three options here, and like, how do we weight them? And I don't claim to give a full answer now, but I think there are a lot of possible solutions that we could go for and a lot of testing we could do. So I will pause here. We'll pick it up again soon, but thank you for joining me, and I hope it's getting really good. Talk to you later.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, please consider checking out the full video and the series linked in the description.